have something from you so that this becomes a national project and not a water resources project.
The representative of the international consultants, Iram Hassan, underscored the importance of the project as it will help ease the problem of lack of data and information, as well as assist on the use of information.
Because oftentimes projects get hung up and there's a lack of data and information. So we will do our best along with the national consultants to gather as much information, and we really invite the stakeholders today to speak up and highlight how they acquire information, how they use information, and how they disseminate information.
Mamadi Ndao of the UNDP underscored the importance of addressing climate change, which he stressed is a problem, and the Gambia is no exception.
The provision of timely and effective information through identified institutions that allows individuals exposed to hazards to take action to avoid or reduce their risk and prepare for effective response will greatly contribute towards mitigating the aforementioned hazards and risks.
The Minister of Environment, Parks and Wildlife, Fatunde Gay, called for the need for increased vigilance on the climate system to remedy the situation. The government, she added, has to provide for the affected Gambians every year, saying this is unsustainable.
As recently in 2011, close to 35% of the national population were affected by crop failure due to low rainfall. Of these 310,000 people, that is 18% of the national population, including 51,000 children under 5 years of age, were categorized as most vulnerable population in the need of emergency assistance. To remedy the situation, the government of the Gambia and its partners had to provide food, water supply, and seeds totaling to $25 million.
The early warning system, if complete, will help in forecasting climate-related issues like rain, marine, floods, and other natural calamities in the local languages. With the help of the Central Weather Forecast Office and other partners, it will also provide easy access to information in helping the country combat climate change. Mohammed Jallo, GRTS News.
The next Operation Cleansing Nation is slated for Saturday, 6 April 2013 throughout the country. The initiative, according to a press release from the National Environment Agency, has had very positive impacts on the health status of the citizenry. The dispatch says several studies have confirmed that the main reason for the significant drop in malaria cases, as much as 40% in some places, can be mainly attributed to this initiative. The Operation Cleansing Nation initiative, the NEA states, targets the root causes of the vector-borne diseases by eliminating the breeding grounds of the insect that spreads such diseases. This initiative, the dispatch maintains, should therefore be supported wholeheartedly by every inhabitant of the Gambia, as we all reap its benefits in light of the above. All governors, Sefolu, Alkalolu, ward councillors, and government institutions have been reminded that a strong presidential directive has been issued requiring all of them to organize and fully participate in the next cleanup exercise within their respective areas of jurisdictions throughout the country. The suspension of the Operation Cleansing Nation due to the Christian Lent, the NEA press release explains, has caused an extremely large accumulation of household waste which should now be disposed of. The general public is also reminded that a very restricted number of permits for the movements of essential vehicles would be available upon application at the National Environment Agency. All individuals, institutions, and organizations in need of such permits are urged to submit their requests to the NEA latest Wednesday, 3rd April 2013. We'll be back with news from outside the Gambia after this break. Welcome back. The United Nations Security Council has for the first time unanimously voted in favor of a resolution proposed by France to allow UN troops to carry out offensive operations in the DR Congo. As we hear in this CFR report, the resolution will see the deployment of an intervention brigade with an offensive mandate.
The United Nations Security Council has voted unanimously in favor of a resolution proposed by France to authorize UN troops to carry out offensive operations in the DR Congo. It is the first time that the UN has approved such a mandate.
La résolution propose des mesures nouvelles.
The resolution proposes new measures. It allows for the first time the deployment of an intervention brigade with an offensive mandate in order to halt the progress of armed groups, to neutralize and to disarm them, with the goal of stabilizing the eastern DR Congo. In terms of strategy, this is an about-face. Until now, MONUSCO, the UN peacekeeping mission in the DR Congo, was forbidden to use all but defensive tactics, inviting harsh criticism of its effectiveness. The Congolese government urged the Security Council to lose no time in sending troops. Let this brigade be deployed as quickly as possible. The life and dignity of men, women, and children in North and South Kivu, Ituri, and Katanga hang in the balance. The nearly 3,000-strong brigade will arrive in the DR Congo in July, reinforcing UN peacekeepers already on the ground. The brigade, to be based in Goma, will be made up of troops sent from South Africa, Tanzania, and Malawi. Their mission will be to track the movements of M23 rebels. To do this, the brigade will be assisted by drones, the first time that such technology has been used. The 3 drones will also survey the borders of Uganda and Rwanda, which the UN has accused of arming the rebels.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has threatened to attack U.S. mainland and military bases. The threat comes at a time when more than 40,000 U.S. and South Korean troops are carrying out joint military maneuvers, and the political deadlock continues in Italian politics after the left leader failed to form a government. We have details of these and other stories in this World News Roundup.
There's a sudden thrust in tensions between North Korea, South Korea and the United States. North Korea's state television announced the North Korean leader ordered missile units to strike U.S. mainland and military bases. The threat comes at a time when more than 40,000 U.S. and South Korean troops are carrying out joint military maneuvers. The deployment of U.S. stealth bombers as part of the military exercises is interpreted by Pyongyang as a veil for a surprise attack to be launched against North Korea. Burma's President Thein Sein warned the Burmese government will use force if necessary to stop political and religious extremists from promoting hatred and using violence. The warning is a response to recent violence between Burma's Buddhists and Muslims. 40 people were killed in the central town of Miktila as Buddhist crowds attacked buildings. A similar outbreak of sectarian violence in 2012 in the western state of Rakhine left 180 dead and more than 110,000 displaced. In Tanzania, dozens of people are trapped and at least 3 have died after a building under construction collapsed in Tanzania's main city, Dar es Salaam. Hundreds of people, including residents and army rescuers, are trying to clear the rubble to rescue survivors. Close to 20 people have been retrieved so far. Eyewitnesses and bystanders thought they heard an earthquake as the 15-story building collapsed. Political deadlock continues in Italy after the left-leaning leader Pierluigi Bersani failed to form a government and has ruled out a coalition with the right. The Five-Star protest movement, led by ex-comedian Beppe Grillo, has made it clear it will not back any government led by either the centre-left or centre-right, and the left wing refuses an alliance with former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi.
South Africans are on the edge after anti-apartheid icon Nelson Mandela spent his second night in an unknown hospital. President Jacob Zuma has again reassured his people that Madiba is okay and responding to treatment. But as CFI reports, even Barack Obama has expressed his concern over Mandela's health.
Nobody really knows where exactly Nelson Mandela is. Maybe he is in this Pretoria hospital where he spent some time back in December. But South African authorities decided not to make this information public. The only certainty is that the anti-apartheid icon spent his second day in hospital for a recurring lung infection. President Jacob Zuma says not to panic.
He's responding very well to the treatment, which is good news. Of course, I've been saying to people, we should bear in mind, Madiba is not